I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm Team Gina in her fight with Jen. And I've never been Team Gina, I don't think. Maybe once, maybe. Actually, maybe when she was fighting with Shannon, her first season, like at the reunion when she said, "You're an open book of bullshit." That was fun. But for the most part, Gina has not been. But Jen, you're a little delulu. Are you okay? Did you guys see her watch What Happens Live too? She's got that like brainwashed denial thing. Denial's one of the weirdest things for me to witness. I don't know. I've only seen real true denial a few times in real life, and it is just bizarre. It makes the people around them feel crazy. And that's like what Jen feels like she's doing. It also feels very reminiscent of old Orange County to have someone evicted and stuff. It's like when Lynn Curtin, was it Lynn who got served on camera the eviction notice? Was that Lynn or her daughter? Was that family, or am I confusing someone else? I think that was Lynn Curtin. But that's why it kind of feels like, oh, this is reminiscent of simpler times, this eviction. Anyway. Don't ask what's happening with my hair, with my face, with anything. I'm having one of those weeks. Can't get a messy bun right to save my life. Breaking out. Feeling icky. Just one of those weeks, okay? It's like, why did I pick a video medium in this economy? I don't know what that means. Okay, let's get into it. Alexis comes back in from the fight with Shannon. She's like shaking, and Heather and Tamra are comforting her. But Heather actually leaves Alexis to go check on Shannon. But Tamra is like trying to have some empathy, and she goes, "It's got to be hard for her." And Alexis goes, "Oh, it's hard for me to see his ex-girlfriend." And Tamra in her confessional, she's like, "I actually felt really bad for Shannon. I sent her a text message, even though we were not in a good place." And let me read the text. The text from her was, "Hi, Shannon. I know things are not great between us, but I just wanted you to know that I'm thinking about you with all these pictures of John and Alexis going around. I know how hurtful this must be for you, and I'm sorry. I hope you're able to enjoy the holiday season." Shannon replied, "Thank you for your text. Looking forward to spending the holidays with my girls, period. Merry Christmas." Then Shannon's confessional is, well, then there's Tamra liking the picture and putting the clapping emojis on the promised ring thing. And Shannon goes sends her a text, "Not sure what is going on, but I can say without a doubt that you would never, ever see me posting applause emojis to a girl that has a PR rep saying that Alexis and John have a lot in common." And Tamra writes, "Grow the fuck up. That had nothing to do with you or John," in all caps. "The next something idea to call someone to talk shit about me, think again." Oh, it probably says the next time you get the idea. Okay, yeah. Because for some reason they zoomed in, so they cut off what the rest of the text was. So all you can see is "grow the fuck up" on the screen. But yes, if you're claiming to be my friend and I have a very contentious situation with my ex, and then they are now dating someone, I would definitely not love it if you were liking and applauding. I will say the timing of this is annoying too, because I can't figure out. Tamra has said that she reconciled with Alexis at BravoCon, and that was before Alexis started dating John, right? But it appears as if Tamra became friends with Alexis because almost that she was dating John. But I am going to believe Tamra on this one, at least, in that it happened at BravoCon. Because Shannon still with John at that point? The timing of it's a little sus. It's not the best. Because yeah, if you're my friend and then my ex is now dating someone new who you've also had issues with, who, the lawsuit and everything, I'd be like, "Oh, really? The fuck are you doing?" But Tamra is not really that type of a friend, I don't think. She's kind of done this throughout the entire series. If the alliance that Tamra has it's not like besties who support each other, and it's like it's an alliance. Like she doesn't look at it like that. She still wants to be like kind of friends with everyone, and then is like, what? I like them. That, you know what I mean? But as where Shannon is like scorched earth if we are on a team. Like if you think back to the season where they went to Iceland, is that right? Or Greenland or wherever they went that, what's her name? Lydia took them. Shannon is so over the top about how much she hates Vicky and how Tamra should hate Vicky too. And I know that there was a lot more stuff going on there, but you know, Shannon is definitely that kind of like ride or die, and Vicky too, to like their own detriment. And Tamra's never been one for that. She's always like with Gretchen and Vicky and like all that stuff. There's always been like crossover and it gets messy. So it's just really not surprising. There's a little bit of tension with Gina and Jen at the party, but I forget that Gina has a tendency or a history, if you will, of ruining Heather's events. And you know you don't ruin Heather's events. No, don't do that. None of that. So we'll get lunch. At one point, Alexis is talking all loud, and Shannon's like, okay, let's keep our voices down. And Alexis is like, oh, well, I just got scolded. Oh, I guess she could be my mom. Oh. But then in her confessional, you guys, Alexis thought she ate this moment up. But here's what she said. She goes, now, you will not shush me, lady. I will no longer be squelched. So any storm that beador wants to create, find a new tornado. Okay, I need to break that down. What? Okay, you will not shush me. Okay, fine. Any storm that beador wants to create, find a new tornado. It's like you didn't say tornado first, so are you trying to storm? Okay. Yeah, nope. Alexis, that one didn't go to plan. Whoever helped you write that and practice that, maybe John. Or maybe that was off the cuff because it really made no sense. And she's like, that's right. That's right. I nailed it. I'm like, oh, girl. Heather has a money booth, or maybe there's not money in it, but it's full of questions and they get in it like it's some, I can't figure out what she was talking about with the money booth. And they're like, Jen, you could get in there and get some rent money. I'm like, oh, wow. But it's full of questions. So whoever goes in has to grab a question. Alexis gets, what's your friendship goal for 2024? And she said, I would have to say for Shannon and I to kill all animosity and be able to move forward. Huh? Huh? And Alexis in her confessional goes, I'm going to act like a Christian. I'm going to spread love. Okay. Didn't take her long to drop that. But then Tamra goes, you might have to stop banging her ex-boyfriend. And they're like, Tamra. But Katie's like, it was what everyone was thinking. Like, Alexis, you're really going to say that now after that? Tamra gets, what would you like to have less of this year? And she couldn't wait. She goes, friends who talk shit behind my back, and then like tosses it. She's like, yeah, that's right. Heather's is so Heather. What's your favorite piece of jewelry? And she goes into why she has a favorite piece of jewelry. But then Tamra goes, Alexis, anything you'd like to share? And Alexis goes, the ring Johnny got me, it's not an engagement ring. It's just a sign of love. And Emily's like, well, is it a promise ring? It was not a promise ring. It was just, okay, but you did hashtag promise ring. Promised with a D at the end. And they're like, what? That's the same thing. And Alexis goes, no, because it could also just mean promised in the eye of the Lord. And Katie whispers to Gina, is she really religious? And Gina is so shameless. Gina really tries later to say that she was just looking out for Alexis, but she was willing to throw all kinds of shade at this, basically a stranger. And she's like, that's a big gift for a 2-month mark. You think you're going to marry him? And obviously Alexis is like, yes, 100%. And Gina's like, after 2 months? Shannon gets up. She's like, I can't be here for this. So Tamra follows her out. And I was like, a choice was made here. She's like, I'm checking on you. And Shannon's like, I mean, I'm fine, but it hurts. Or then Shannon can't resist. She's like, thanks for asking the question, though. And as she walks away, she's like, I don't know what you're trying to do, I know you think I'm talking behind your back. And then they go back and forth. And you are talking behind my back. And you're saying that I'm a horrible friend and that I have a giant ego and that I think I'm better than everybody. And Shannon is like, no, I did not say that. But I did say when we were doing Trace Amigas, we always had to do it around Tamra's schedule because you've got so much going on. And you're walking around going, the reason for the show is me. And Tamra's like, no, I don't. And then Shannon goes, if you want to sit down, I'm not going to stand in a hallway. And Tamra goes, no, I actually don't. You're not a good person. You've done horrible things to me. Okay. All right. It's like you can't, like you go too far with it, Tamra, because now Shannon's not going to hear you. Because you did bust Shannon. You did, because clearly Shannon was saying that. Then Shannon gets back to the table and she's telling her friend, who's like also her glam person, what happened. And she has to say, like, I mean, I did say she has a big ego. I did say that. So like, Shannon, you were talking shit about Tamra, clearly. And she busted you. But then Tamra, you go like, you're not a good person. And then it's like, she's not going to hear you now. She's going to go and do exactly what she does and be like, she said, you're not a good person. So, you know, you hand it to her. You hand her this opportunity to victimize herself, you know? All right. Gina takes us on a showing later. And I'm not going to throw any shade at Gina. I'm impressed that she's taking real estate so seriously. I'm impressed that she's like, you know what? I could be fired. And honestly, I'm surprised I haven't been fired yet from this show. I got to make something for real happen. So I am impressed by that. Meanwhile, while she's doing that, Jen meets Shannon and Katie to do the stairs. Kill me. I'm with Katie. Like, I love a workout. I do a really hard workout 4 times a week. It's so difficult and not fun, but also fun. And I love it. So, you know, I get the whole concept of working out, but I hate meeting up with friends to work out. Like, to tell me you're going to make me do stairs, I'm like, I just want to catch up. What's going on? You know, I like friends that do that, or a hike. I don't hike. My knees hurt. My knees. I think that's the bit. My knees and my ankles. The joints are so bad. I got to go down sideways when I go hiking. I haven't been hiking since I redid that, because I got my damn friends who are in their 30s or like young 30s, like just turned 30. They don't know. They don't know. But I literally did fucking Runyon Canyon with these assholes. And in the decline going down, it wasn't even going up. It was going down. I was going sideways like I was scaling down like a steep mountain. Meanwhile, it's nothing that you can't walk straight down, but my knees hurt so bad. So yeah. So yeah, don't invite me to go do stairs. Oh, I got makeup on and everything. Anyway, so after the stairs, they're talking about how John and Alexis, John's posting smiling pictures with Alexis, and Shannon goes, yeah, the reason John is smiling so much is because he got new teeth. He's got his teeth fixed. That's why when he was with me, he wasn't smiling as much, but now he got the teeth done. I'm like, okay, that's too easy to make fun of, Shannon. It's too easy. Don't make it that easy for me to be like, Shannon. No, that's not it. Katie talks about her husband. She says he was a travel reporter for a golf channel. Was that right? And then she wanted to be a weather girl, but she's like, that's too much work or too much pressure or something. So then she went into sports reporting, but she doesn't even really like sports or want to play them. Interesting. And they look very wealthy. So I'm very curious. Do I need to become a travel reporter? Is there a lot of money in that? I'm sure a lot of people want that job, actually. And I don't even travel. So, you know, I shouldn't do that. I'm always trying to eat healthier than I do. And I love Hungry Root for that. It's the easiest way for me to eat healthy. It's kind of like having someone else do all the planning and the shopping, so I don't even have to think about it. Hungry Root does get to know what your personal health goals are, your dietary restrictions, your favorite foods, how much time you want to spend cooking, and they will build you a personalized shopping cart with all of your grocery needs for the week. However, each order is totally customizable, and I personally like to just clear the cart and shop the aisles. I don't know why I enjoy that so much, but you can select how much cooking time you want, so you can get recipes for meals that are super easy. And I've been introduced to brands that are really incredible. They're nice, healthy alternatives to the food that I would be eating that wasn't maybe as healthy. They've got fresh produce, high quality meat and seafood, the delicious healthy snacks, smoothies, sweets, ready to eat meals, kids snacks, kids meals, vitamins, supplements. They got it all. Everything from Hungry Root follows a very simple standard. It's got to taste good, it's got to be quick to make, and contain whole trusted ingredients. Right now, Hungry Root is offering She's Speaking with Emily Hanks listeners 40% off your first delivery and free veggies for life. Just go to hungryroot.com/shespeaks to get 40% off your first delivery and get your free veggies. That's hungryroot.com/shespeaks. Don't forget to use our link so they know we sent you. I am ready to be in my vacation era. It is summertime. I have yet to plan a cute weekend trip or getaway, but I need to. But I'm also going to need vacay clothing. And that is why I'm going to check out Quince. Because Quince partners directly with top factories, so all of their items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands, but it still maintains that top quality material. Because Quince only works with factories that use premium fabrics and finishes, but also, this is very important, safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. But I'm going to be picking up a European linen dress. I'll probably get a washable silk top. It feels very vacay to me. And they have premium luggage options too. You probably have heard me talk about the purse that changed my life and became my whole personality. That was from Quince. So pack your bags with high quality essentials with Quince. Go to quince.com/shespeaks for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/shespeaks to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/shespeaks. Katie had actually seen Heather at Sutton's Christmas party. Crossover. Woo, woo, cross. Oh, we love that. And Sutton is everywhere, isn't she? And she said that, Katie says that Heather turned around, stared at her, and then just turned back. Shannon doesn't know where she's at with Heather because, as she says, Tamra told her a lot of stuff that Heather was saying about things, about like with John and stuff. But now she's like, I don't even know if that's true. So I don't know. But then Jen's like, yeah, I got to talk to Gina. And she's like, I don't understand the beef Gina has with me. So then at the same time, Gina FaceTimes Emily from her listing to talk about the Jen stuff. I find these like setups very funny because it's like the timing of it. They had to make sure that they got this in. So they're like, Gina, where do you want to have your FaceTime call with Emily? Okay, in the house. Perfect. Got it. But apparently Gina has been so affected by this because she had reached out to another agent because she was looking for a cash buyer and the agent wouldn't even text her back. Now, the fact that she knows it's 100% because of Jen is a little interesting, but I will say, when I was a notary signing agent and worked with escrow offices, I've definitely heard conversations about them saying, well, no, that agent brought so-and-so and he's defaulted and da-da-da-da-da. And like those conversations do happen. And if it's a renting situation, it's like, yeah, then like all you have is a lease. You don't even well, I guess you put some money down, but not really. And so it's purely off of Gina's reputation, I guess, that she said, no, I can vouch for Jen. She'll pay her rent. We don't need to run a credit check or whatever they said happened. So if you're really sticking your neck out that much for someone, you are like just assuming that they're going to stick with it. Because like you wouldn't stick your neck out if you didn't think that. And then if they don't, it should be like, I can say with 100% certainty that if I had a friend who was a real estate agent who hooked me up and got me an apartment and made sure they didn't check my credit, if I truly thought my rent was going to be paid and I found out it wasn't getting paid, I would contact that real estate agent 100%. That would be one of the first people I contact. Like, I'm fucked. I'm so sorry, whatever, because I would know that they did that for me and that this is their contact. Like they are whoever, rented or owned the building, that they were like, no, they're good. They're good to go. Yeah. You're calling your friend, the real estate agent who got you the place. So yeah, I fully am believing that it did something. It did something. But Jen tells her version of the story, and she's like, and then we get evicted. And apparently, Gina is upset and telling people. So when she said it like that, I'm like, what do you mean, apparently? Apparently, again, I would have made that phone call pretty quick if I knew she stuck her neck out for me, honestly. Jen's dad was the one who co-signed for her to get the place, which also then tells me that they maybe didn't need to run a credit report. I don't know. Wait, because if you're getting a co-signer, interesting. But now Jen has moved in with Ryan, and Katie asks, what does Ryan do, like, for a living? And Jen answers this. I can't tell if this was editing, like if they intentionally dragged this out and added in like the awkward, suspicious music that they do, or if she really did deliver like this. But she's like, well, nothing now. He did mortgage for years and years. Okay. And then he's done real estate development since then. Oh, so he does real estate, but nothing like, there's no office. He just kind of sits around and plays in the sunshine. He lives a dream life, I always tell him. Huh. Well, you see, now all this stuff happened with the Dodgers pitcher and that money that was stolen from him getting sent over to Ryan and his other business partners. So, what? Now, now you're opening us up to have more questions, you see. Gina to Emily, Gina is shameless. She's like, she's got to go to work. That's where she's going. And Emily goes, she won't because it'll mess up her gym schedule. I'm like, oh, this is like a dialogue you're all having about her. Like everybody's having that conversation. Got it. We get a nice Katie moment. We get to know her. So she was adopted from Korea at a very young age, and her very white family didn't talk about anything Korean, didn't eat Korean food. So that'll fuck you up. But I believe her 6-year-old that she has with her husband is named Bandon. I kept not catching it. I'm assuming she said Bandon, but she actually had 3 kids in her first marriage. I was like, oh shit. So she's a 17-and-a-half-year-old. When she said he's in San Diego to finish out the school year, I had so many follow-up questions. Who's he living with? Finish out the school year with who? What? I need more information there. She's got a 14-year-old, Max, who lives in Atlanta with his dad full time. But you see her daughter, Kylie, is, I think, like 18, maybe 19. I can't tell. And she's all about, Kylie is all about her Korean roots. She actually speaks some Korean, but she feels abandoned by her biological father. And is that the biological father that the 14-year-old son lives with in Atlanta? Is it that guy? Interesting. I need more information on this. But at least Matt, Katie's current husband, is basically like her adopted father. She considers herself like adopted by him. So Shannon, Gina, and Emily, they work out with some football dudes to practice for their flag football day coming up. But then after the practice, they do that thing where whenever you see a housewife, go do a workout class, or really anybody, to be honest, anyone on a reality show, the Vanderpump Rules did it too. They do the class, sort of, and then afterwards, the instructor's like, okay, guys, nice to meet you, and leaves them there in the studio to chat and finish up their chat. You know what I mean? There's always that thing. My favorite was when Garcelle and Erica did it. And the yoga teacher was like, okay, guys, I'll see you later. And just like close the door. And I'm like, never. This would never happen. But they want to have that setting, you know? But Shannon figures out that Alexis is going to be invited to flag football. And see, Emily is close with Alexis. So she's like, I like Alexis. But Gina's the only one who does not know Alexis prior to this. And she did not have a good first impression. And they flash back to Heather's event. Now, you see, Gina was digging, like she was activating this person. She'd already said, like, you want to marry this guy after 2 months? She'd already done that. Then we flash back to her saying, there's always someone out there protecting this man and saying how amazing he is. And Alexis going, maybe because he's a good guy. Did you ever think about that? And then Gina back with the other girl. She's like, I was just trying to warn her because I've had my own experiences with him. I'm like, Gina, if you were really just trying to warn her, you did a very bad job. because you put me on the defense. Like, if I don't know Alexis, I'm not Alexis, but like, from what I can tell, she loves this guy, John. And if you, a stranger, is going to present her with information like this, it's not the best way to be like, wow, you want to marry him in 2 months? Okay. I mean, people are always protecting this guy. I don't know why. It's not like you were telling her, like, just so you know, I had this experience. You know what I mean? But nice try, though. Nice try saying I was just trying to warn her. And then the flashback, though, Gina has experience with John when he was yelling like, fuck Gina. Who the fuck does she think she is? And Shannon goes, yeah, he hadn't eaten. I'm like, oh, I got a glimpse into that relationship. Mr. Grumpy Pants, whenever he felt like being grumpy, and Shannon would go into like codependent mode of like, oh, he's hungry. Oh, don't freaking out like that. Gina tells Shannon that she should be proud of herself for how she handled Heather's event. And Shannon immediately goes into her crying apology. And she says, between my DUI and when I went to the place, there were a couple nights I was freaking out and I thought my life was over, and I did drink a lot. But once I went to that program, everything changed. And then she says, but I didn't realize how hard it is because it's really hard. And I got to say, I was falling for it. I was like, oh, I think Shannon has changed a bit. And then Shannon says to Gina, you're a good mom and a responsible person. And I've always thought that's who I was too, but I can just really understand what you went through. So I'm sorry that I wasn't totally there for you. And I was like, okay, I'm buying this moment. Call me a fool. But Gina is too. And Gina, like, the empathy that Gina showed Shannon in this moment was actually really touching. It was. She was like, I know what you're going through and I'm not about to make it worse for you. And is like, it's going to get better. It was just very, like, I don't know. I didn't anticipate believing this whole moment, but I was like, okay, Shannon, I think I might. I think this has maybe rocked her a little bit, but to be determined. Because I do think that if you really did, I don't know, do the work, that you probably just wouldn't drink at all at this point. It's like she's still kind of trying to hold on to the fact that she can drink still. I can drink a little. It's like, just let it go. Like, you don't gain anything from it, honestly. It doesn't change but I forgot that her whole personality with the Tres Amigas and all that was all like shots and whatever. It's like the Dorinda thing, you know, where Dorinda thought her thing was like being the drunk, even though she'd deny it. They're very similar in their drinking, Shannon and Dorinda. Dorinda hasn't been humbled yet, though. Dorinda needs to get humbled, in my opinion. Tamra and Eddie ride to Cook's Corner, and I feel like I've heard about Cook's Corner before. I feel like I remember hearing that was like a spot for bikers. I could have swore. I might be making that up. Eddie wants to move to Big Bear full time. No, you don't want to do that. You really don't. But Tamra brings up Heather's party and she's like, it was good to see everyone. And Eddie goes, and Shannon? And Tamra goes, I just have so much anger and it has nothing to do with the Tres Amigas stuff. But she starts to cry. I really thought she was going to get help. And it's frustrating to me because she's lying to everybody. Like, oh, I'm sober. Oh, I haven't had a drink. Oh, I'm just having 2 drinks. Like, oh, I don't have a drinking problem. And Eddie was like, okay, that's her thing. And I always agree with Eddie because I'm like, wait, hold on. Let me break this down, Tamra. You're not angry with her about Tres Amigas, but you're angry at her and not speaking to her because you thought she was going to get help. But then she did get help, you see. I have some inside tea. I'm not going to give any of the details because it would give away a lot, or give away who it's from. But there was the whole like Tres Amigas show getting disbanded and whatever. Is it Dos Amigas? Is that what the new Shannon and Vicky show is? I've heard that there were not more than just Tamra. There were more people than just Tamra that were upset at how they went about doing their own show. So Tamra's not doing a very good job of explaining things, but I do know that it wasn't just Tamra who was upset about the way Shannon and Vicky handled it. But I can't say any more because it'll really give it away, and I hope that I don't get in trouble for even saying that. But it's like I understood why Tamra was pissed, because when the DUI happened, they were still doing Trace Amigas, and it was like, it did feel really inappropriate that Shannon was like drinking at the show and stuff. I was like, yeah, that's really showing that she does not understand what happened here and how dangerous that was. And so I understood Tamra wanting to distance herself, but to try to take the route of being so hurt that you're crying that Shannon didn't get the help, I don't know if I buy that aspect of it. That's like a jump for me. But I do understand the frustration, because Shannon she has kept a lot off the show. And I know people they think she's an open book, but she's not. Like, Shannon has kept a ton off the show and really curates for the cameras. And it works because she has a huge following and fan base. People are ride or die for Shannon. And I will never say I want Shannon off my screen, because she's amazing television. But she has gotten away, because I've gone back and rewatched OC so many damn times, and watching Shannon's journey on the show, she's remained a victim the whole time. And so even in this DUI thing, it was like, this has to change her. But I will say, now that I've heard her have a conversation with Gina, I'm like, I think it did change her. It's just not what we were expecting, which was she needs to get sober. And, if that's not her journey, then that's not her journey, I guess. I don't know. But I do know that Tamra has been also looking for a way out of this friendship for a while, because some friends just drain you, and some friends you just can't handle. And I have many of those people I know that I've just kind of slowly backed away from over the years, where it's like the day-to-day stress of being their friend. It's like there's always a thing. There's always something happening. So it's like, and Eddie wants her to be done. Eddie's like, I cannot fucking stand it when Shannon's in your life. It's just constantly drama. So, whatever. But Tamra brings up Jen getting evicted, and Eddie has thoughts on Ryan. And he's like, well, yeah, Jen, he's bringing Jen down. She's actually a really hard worker and would be working super hard. But Ryan, like, when you hang out with liars, so he's like a liar. So, oh shit, okay. And so then, of course, after Eddie is like, I don't know if he's a liar and whatever, the next scene is going to, of course, be Jen and Ryan at home, so that we can get a glimpse into that. And Jen's parents come over, and she's crying about how grateful she is for them saving her, and it's a little pathetic. But I guess I'm grateful that she's showing us all of it. But it's not a little, it's a lot of worrying. It's like, oh, and Ryan's the guy? All right. It is no secret I have struggled with my weight for years. I think I talk about it like every freaking day on this podcast. But I'm doing really well. I'm working out 4 times a week. I'm eating healthier. I'm eating less. How about that? But I still have areas on my body that I just don't love, like my lower belly, hip region. And so I'm thinking a visit to Sono Bello is in order. Sono Bello is the only way to permanently lose fat and inches. The doctors are masters in micro laser fat removal, which is a faster, more comfortable one-visit technique wherever you have stubborn fat, like your tummy, your sides, your thighs, your arms, or if you have sagging, loose, jiggly skin. Don't worry about it. Sono Bello's got you. Permanently gone. So I don't need to hide under a big beach cover-up. Or, rock it however you want to rock it. But if this is a pain point of yours, like it is me, well, Sono Bello's got us. Give yourself the gift of a full body reset. Learn about one-visit micro-laser fat removal. Schedule your free consultation. Ask about Sono Bello's spectacular summer savings going on now. Visit sonobello.com/she speaks. That's SONOBELLO.com/she speaks. Shannon and Heather get dinner. Now you see Shannon is like, because Heather's like, I feel really bad about what's happening. And Shannon's like, okay, but why are we even inviting Alexis to events? Because I wouldn't. But for Heather, she's like, to be honest, I've spoken to Alexis more than I have Shannon in the past however many months, because Shannon doesn't even like Heather. And so that's what's been tough, is that Shannon, I know Jeff Lewis went on Watch What Happens Live, and I did think it was true to an extent that they like set Shannon up to be activated all season long because she has no allies. But it's her own doing. There's that side of it for me. Where like if you're not nurturing the relationships with people, and I rewatched the reunion from last year, and Shannon was crazy bad because all she was trying to do was cover up for John Janssen, trying to stop everyone from talking about it and deflecting, and it was hard to watch. I forgot, like I rewatching it, I was like, oh, that's right, that's how I left last season. And so when Shannon does it to herself, it's like, it's not, you can't just put it all on production like that. Because I think they like had to get rid of Taylor. I think Taylor was too much of a drunk because she was like slurring and crazy. Remember that at the finale, was that the finale with Heather, where she was like, yeah, I don't even blah. It was all bad. So I feel like they were like, yeah, we're done. I don't know if we can if we can trust shooting with her if she's going to keep acting like that. But anyway, so Heather asks if Shannon really said what Tamra told her that she said, which is, let's take Heather down at the reunion. And Shannon at first is like, no, not at all. But then the more she explains it, she's like, because Tamra was telling me all these things that you were saying, like, oh, no, I can't talk about that. And, so I was up to here. So, but I'm apologizing. I'm like, okay, so you did. You did say that. Okay. You fucking did. And Heather goes, I don't need an apology. What I need from you is that you trust who I am and what I say to you, and that we can have a friendship. And Shannon goes, I love that. I want that. Which is, Shannon loves to do that stuttering talk. Yes, well, thank you. Yes, yeah. Gina, Emily, and Katie get lunch, and Katie is like, well, so I was with Jen, and she's moving in with Ryan, and Gina's like, news to me. And Katie goes, yeah, she was saying, like, how did Emily know? She was upset about that. But the part that's just wild to me is that she posted on Instagram that she was getting evicted. Like, you can't post it on Instagram and then wonder how people are talking about it. You opened the door. Like, that's nuts to me. And so Gina's pissed, and I don't fucking blame her. She's like, her concern should not be who I'm telling. Her concern should be how the fuck she's going to pay her fucking rent. I was mad for her. And I was so grateful that the very next scene was Gina and Jen getting coffee, because I didn't want to wait. I'm like, give it to me. Jen makes a huge mistake. This bitch arrives in glam, and according to Watch What Happens Live, Andy says this will come up a lot. Should you really be paying for glam in this economy? And Jen's like, well, yeah, whatever. But Gina's set off. So Gina's like, so what's going on with you? And Jen goes, I mean, a lot, but like, I wanted to meet because I was like, what the fuck did I do to Gina? And Gina's like, well, I'm not happy about the situation, Jen. And Jen goes, do you honestly think that I moved into that house and thought to myself, I'll just motherfuck Gina and I'll just give it on a whim and see if I could make rent? And Gina claps back perfectly. She goes, no, I don't think you think about these things at all, because you didn't. And Jen goes, oh, that is a bullshit statement. This makes Jen snap, or Gina snap. Sorry, I keep probably mixing up their names. I'm sorry. And Gina's like, when you sign a contract, you have to follow that contract. This is my brand new career, Jen. And Jen says, yeah, so you probably shouldn't have gone running your mouth about my personal business. I was like, let her have it, Gina. Fucking give it to her. Nope. Don't you even talk like that to me, Jen. And you shouldn't have been running your mouth about my business. You mean my business. My fucking business. How about that? How about that part? All you have is your reputation. And Gina goes, you know how I knew you were evicted? Instagram. And Jen like looks up and she's like, huh, wait, what? Bitch, you posted it. You posted it. She goes, I went out of my way to help you and you burned me. And the way Jen goes, I didn't burn you. It's so dismissive. So Gina is pissed about the attitude. So she loses it. She goes, you need to grow up. You need to pay your bills. You need to figure out how to take care of yourself and your children. It is not your ex's responsibility. It is not your boyfriend's responsibility. And as Gina's saying this, Jen keeps going, you're being shitty. You're shitty. You're fucking shitty. Good one. Good one. Sorry. I'm like, I know Gina might be going crazy here, but I'm like, Jen is infuriating me. Gina's like, I am so upset by this. You called me to help you. And Jen says, you're not the only one who's upset. But hello, you don't remember? She was the one who helped you get the place. Like, what are you talking about? And Gina's like, I really don't know that you actually do get it because you don't get these things. And Jen goes, are you implying that I don't know anything, Gina? Gina goes, did you know about this? I do know. I do know that me and my 5 fucking kids were on the line in 48 hours. And Gina just cuts her off and she's like, I can't, this is bullshit. I can't do this. And Gina goes, it is real and you need to wake up, Jen. You're not paying your rent. You're getting your hair and makeup done. Why are you paying your rent? You're at the gym every day. I'm like, fuck. Okay, now we're going. Jen's confessional is Gina. Just because my life is falling apart doesn't mean my hair needs to fall apart like yours did. I kind of wish she had said that in the moment. Gina went through such a bad hair experience. My God, it was like many phases of terrible. It was so bad. But Gina's like, why aren't you teaching yoga classes, outdoor yoga classes? I'm like, okay, don't start giving her business advice. You didn't pay your rent. You put me in a bad situation. Gina gets up and she looks at the producer because Jen's like, we were trying to move out or what? I don't even know. And Gina's looking right at the producer, goes, I can't talk to her. She's a joke. And then she walks out. And as Gina's walking to her car, she goes, you're pathetic. Take care of your fucking self and your kids or drown, but don't run me over with your bullshit. Oh, it's so good. Jen's just sitting there like, what am I saying? Like, you should be apologizing. You should be like, this is new to me. I didn't even think about your reputation because this is all new to me. I never handled the money. Because as Tamra said, like, I understand what it's like when you get a divorce and the husband was the breadwinner. I went through that, but I also like started working immediately and figured out the gym and whatever, even though that's kind of like, yeah, or sort of, because like Jen has the yoga studio, and I don't know, like you were already on the show. So Tamra can like say that. So for Jen, which she talks about at Watch What Happens Live, is like, I am working, I'm doing the show. We don't love that. We don't love when the show is your source of income. That's not our favorite, even though we know it is. It's just not our favorite, but it is a source of income. And Jen, you're lucky you had it. It's a fluke that you had it because this situation would have been so much worse. I'm sure she's catastrophizing all the things in her head too. Like, what if I didn't have this? Blah, 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 whatever. How much money does Ryan have? I need to understand that. He did the real estate. I'm sure people have done some dives on him. I need to go find him. Because like the way she described it, and then the investigation into the money, the whatever, all of that was on Ryan. So I just, but Jen has the look of, I can't think of who she reminds me of. It's not Vicky, but it's kind of Vicky. It's like that denial of what's right in front of them, and it is wild. And also, how do you not feel bad? How do you not feel bad if someone was involved in me renting this place and I couldn't pay the rent? Oh, I can't even imagine. I can't imagine. I'd be mortified. And I would not be getting my fucking glam done. Gina's right. I need you to show up looking haggard and like you're struggling, not looking better than me. Because Gina really does have just like a terrible, she needs a stylist. She needs a whole thing. But you know what I mean? That's neither here nor there. Anywho. Loving this season, though. It's amazing how Alexis is managing to make Shannon look sane to me. Because, Alexis, you're looking kookadoo. Also really interesting, too, that last season, Tamra was so not at all interested in being Jen's friend. In fact, she was trying to take her down. This season, she could totally be on that train still because it is apparent that Jen is lying. But instead, she's going to be cool with Jen and cool with Alexis. And I'm like, interesting alliance to be picking here. It's like she's kind of on the wrong side of history on this one. But I don't think it's not genuine. I just think, well, I don't know. It's pretty calculated, isn't it? But I also do know that this is like stuff that's really happening in her real life. That's just like, I think Tamra is just this messy, like genuinely to her core, you know? Anywho, guys, tickets for the live show are available now. August 23rd at Hotel Cafe. But I also got live streaming tickets going. The link is going to be in the episode notes here. So if you can't make it because you're not in LA, you can get the live show streaming tickets. I made them very inexpensive because the company that they use at Hotel Cafe only does a 1-day replay. So I was like, okay, what's the cheapest we can do without losing everything? And so $15. That's got to be a steal, right? I don't know. We originally had it way higher, and someone on the Patreon, because I released it on the Patreon first, was like, that's high. I was like, okay, totally new to this whole world. So learning lessons as we go. This is just like a fun experiment. Kendrick's going to be there. We're going to cover whatever's like happening in pop culture. We're going to basically do like a wrap up, and then we'll go back through and do maybe some like old scenes from our favorite scenes from like Atlanta or something. I don't know, but it'll be a lot of fun, and Kendrick will be there. Okay. Also, merch. I got my merch. I finally revamped. It took me forever. I'm sorry, but it takes a while to get the new designs done, and I had to get all the samples in and try everything. So this is an example of one of the merch items, but it was like a dud because I didn't know exactly where to put the words or the graphic design, whatever. So, but I made sure that everything we actually are selling is of good quality. As opposed to, and like fits well, because the first time around I didn't have time to try everything on until we already put it up. But now I've like the shirts are good, the sweatshirts are good, and I even put like sizing things like this tends to run a little bit smaller, so size up a lot, that kind of stuff. So check it out. The site is shespeaking.co. Everything is in the description for this episode. Is that all for my PRing? I think that's it. All right. Love you guys. Mean it. See you next time. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to She's Speaking with Emily Hanks. This show is produced, hosted, and edited by me, Emily, and brought to you in partnership with Cloud 10 Media. If you are looking for bonus content, check out the Patreon. The link is in the description. To show some support, you can hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Another free way to support the pod, please rate and/or review on whatever platform you listen. It's free, and it helps the algorithm or something. You could also head to buymeacoffee.com/shespeaks and buy me a coffee or two. Make sure you're following me on all social medias. I am She's Speaking with Emily Hanks across all platforms: Threads, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. That's it. Thank you guys. See you soon.